Hi, my name is Hacjivah Dayimani and you're watching Good Sports TV. My name is Hacjivah Dayimani. I'm from Cape Town, born and raised in Cape Town. I moved 2009, moved to Craddock, Eastern Cape. I stayed there and yeah, it's me. So my name is a combination of two cultures, basically Judaism and Xhosa. So my mom wanted to give me Mpumelelo, which means achievement, and my dad wanted to give me Akiva, which means protect, and that's in Hebrew. And so they started arguing and all that stuff, and my dad said, okay, listen, we can do something, we can join the names somehow, or you can put Akiva first name, Mpumelelo second name. My mom was like, no, I want Mpumelelo first name and Akiva second name, because they weren't married, so they felt like this should happen, And my mom was like, listen, you didn't marry me, so you have to use my name, And then so my dad's like, okay, listen, what we're gonna do, we're gonna combine the names, and they end up combining the names, and then they came up with Hacjivah, so it catered for both. It sounded like Akiva and it sounded like Hacjivah, which means Mpumelelo. So now, yeah, it's a unique name. Rugby, I never actually played. I never used to like rugby. I was in Cape Town, and in Cape Town where I was just soccer. I really thought I was gonna make it in soccer. I played soccer. I played for Vasco da Gama back then. B team. I was goalkeeper there, and I was like 11 playing for the under-13s. And I really thought that I was gonna make it. And then it happened when I moved to Craddock, which is like a more of an athletics town. And I did athletics for the school I moved to, and they didn't know who I was, and I started running, and I came like number one. And the rugby coach that time happened to be there and said to me, listen, don't you want to come and play rugby? And I was like, no. I thought of rugby as NFL, where the guys wear helmets and all that stuff, armor and stuff. So I thought, no, I can't play that sport, it's too dangerous. My mom wouldn't allow me to play that. And then I remember watching Brian Abana, also 2007 World Cup, when he was diving and all that stuff, and then the highlights used to show. And I thought to myself, yes, what, I want to dive like this oak, every time I used to practice on the bed and start diving. And I told my mom, listen, I want to dive. My mom said, listen, stop messing this bed of mine. Every time I fix it, you jump on this bed. You have to go and play outside. So eventually, I went back to the rugby coach. I said, listen, I'll play rugby, but I want to play the position Brian Abana plays, whatever that is. And he's like to me, okay, you want to be a wing, but I want to use you as a lock. I said, listen, I want to play the position Brian Abana plays. He puts me on the wing. I was clueless. I didn't know what was happening, and I was just like to myself, listen, this sport's not for me, And eventually I moved from Craddock. I went to Joburg, did athletics there. I moved to fullback. I started understanding the game better, and then my athletics coach was like to me, listen, Hacjivah, I feel like you'll be better off at flank, because you're taller, you're bigger than everyone, and you're faster than everyone, but that'll also be a bonus. And I started playing, and then from there on, I just loved it. It was very tough growing up because my mom lost her job I was very young back then. I was in grade 3. Yeah, she lost her job. So it was very tough because she wasn't very supportive when it came to sports, because sports cost a lot, And back for us, it was like if you play soccer, your coaches must provide. If they wanna pick you up, they have to offer transport. If they wanna anything, they have to provide. So my mom wasn't very supportive with sports, because she felt like I was very talented, so I was costing her a lot, And she felt like, listen, you should just focus in school and that. So my mom, she supported me when it came to like free things where I had to go for tournaments and stuff. And when she lost her job, she sent me to Craddock, and I stayed with my grandmother. And my grandmother was very supportive, because I remember we were still on grant, so she used to buy me stuff like shoulder pads, would cost a lot, and tell me not to tell the other kids, because the other kids are also gonna want stuff. And the money wasn't enough, so the budget wasn't enough. So she used to do things like, she used to work, because she was a domestic worker. So she used to come back with like old boots, all this, old pants, the old Springbok jerseys, and that made me. I felt like the school I was in. I felt like I was fitting in, And when I moved to Joburg, my dad wasn't very supportive too. He was in his own world, He was a boxer, and he wanted me to do boxing. He told me that no child of mine is gonna play any other sport. You're gonna do boxing, and I had to do boxing. I remember doing boxing. So every time after school, I had to go to the boxing gym and I used to do boxing. I hated it because the fitness was tough. Everything was just tough. And I told my dad, I don't want to do boxing. He told me, listen, you have to do boxing. You'll become a world champion in boxing. He showed me all these dreams. I thought, okay, I'm going to listen to him and become a boxer. But eventually that never happened. I had my first amateur fight. It didn't go well. And then, I just told myself, this is not for me. And then my athletics coach in my primary school told my dad, listen, the son of yours is very talented in sports. He's very quick. I think we can work with his skills and he can be something big. And my dad told me, listen, as long as this game is on Saturday, he's not going to play because he's Jewish. And he felt like on Saturdays he can't play games. So, it was very tough because I had to lie and say I have extra lessons and all that stuff. But eventually my dad accepted towards 4 years ago. Then he's like, listen, it's just a sport, you can do it, yeah. No. So I just finished off at Jeppe. I started off at, so I was in the primary school. This primary school ended in grade 7, and then I had to apply for high school. And no high school wanted me because of my behavior. I was very, naughty back then. And so they had to make a grade 8 in the primary school for me and my friend because we were not accepted. And they felt like we can't go without a school. So we were in a grade 7 class sitting at the back doing grade 8 basically. And that happened for the first 2 months, and then I got, obviously the coach like, listen, you guys must go play rugby. You can't play for us because you guys are too old. You guys are 14 this year. So I moved, we went to President, the school in the south, and we played there. The first game that we came off the bench, I scored I think four tries, and I was playing on wing, and I still had the mindset of the flank. I remember I used to go clean a rack and I'll come back on the wing, and then they said, what's this kid doing? But I kept on scoring. They didn't understand, so they gave me a scholarship, and I didn't tell my dad because I knew he wasn't going to be happy because he was in Nigeria, so he just never worried about anything. So I just went to that school, applied everything, got there, and then I got scouted by Lions Invitational team, and then from there on, the whole journey took off. So at Jeppe, it was very tough for me because I remember when I first came to Jeppe, it was a different environment for me because it was a boys' school first of all. I'm used to a co-ed school, and it was too much tradition. Guys wearing blazers. You had to wear blazers. It was hot, it was cold. You just had to wear blazer, and you couldn't wear. It was black on top of that, so you attracted the sun, and it was very tough because I used to wear shorts because I used to go to Afrikaans schools, and I used to love shorts, and I had to wear long pants the whole time. So the whole switch was tough for me, in general. And then sports-wise, I remember playing. I came from a smaller school where sports was not easy, but was challenging for me. And then going to Jeppe, where play against guys that played provincial, Grand Como, and all that stuff. It was very tough. So I struggled the first year. I won't lie to you. I really struggled. I couldn't fit in. I almost went back to my old school because I felt like, listen, this is not for me, and I told the guys, listen, I don't want to be here because I'm struggling. And they said, no, just give it one more year, and they almost took away my scholarship because I wasn't performing like the way they wanted me to perform. So they were like, listen, it's not working out for you, we understand, it's okay, it happens to most of the kids. And when I was about to leave, go back to my old school, the smaller school, the first team coach came to me. He's like, listen, I'm losing my 8th man. He's leaving after matric. I need an 8th man, and you're the only kid that resembles him. Same height, your skills we can work on, and I've seen you run, and I think you're quick, but I don't know, but you'll have to prove yourself. And I was like, and it was the end of the season, and then the athletic season happened. After athletic season, I beat the fastest guy in the school, and I was like, under 16, and that's when everyone heard of me. Like, who's this kid? And that's when everyone started taking note of me, and the first team coach like, listen, you're gonna be the guy. And then he started working with me, and then from there on I played first team in grade 9, And when I was 16, I played, you know, and then from there on, the journey just took off. Yeah. Yeah, at first I couldn't believe, because I know it started off at under 17 when I didn't make the Craven Week team, you know, and I was very disappointed for not making the Craven Week team. And then I went to play Academy Week, and then from Academy Week I got 3 man of the matches, all 3 games. And then the selectors, they were like, listen, no, you have to go straight to the SA schools trials. And I was probably like the only guy then, if I remember, only guy that went from Academy straight to SA schools without playing Craven Week. I got there and then I played, I felt like I performed, and they said to me, no, listen, you still have to work on the certain things, understand the game better, and then you can come back the next year. And that was just an achievement for me, you know. And then the following year I played Craven Week, and then I made the SA schools team. And to be honest with you, like, it was the best feeling ever, because, you know, making SA schools at school is like the highest level you can ever go to, you know, and kids look up to you. You become a role model. Guys take note of what you do, you know. And for me, you know, my whole life I always wanted to influence other people's lives, and that way, when I made SA schools, that happened. And then I made the SA Sevens team that went to Commonwealth Games, and that was like one of the best feelings in my life, because I was representing my country, you know, overseas against other countries, and we played sevens there and we won gold, you know. And coming back, you know, when guys were talking to me and saying, how did it feel? It was the best feeling ever, because explaining to these guys what I felt in that field, you know, and seeing their faces, how they changed, and said, listen, yes, Hacjivah, you are a hero, Hacjivah, you this. And that just made me feel like I felt important again, you know. You know, as a kid, you know, it's like primary school, you know, you always want to go to grade 1, and then once you get to grade 1 you want to go to grade 2. That's how it felt for me, you know. It was like another step, and playing SA schools for me, it felt at that point like, I remember when I was in a smaller school, playing Craven Week was like the highest achievement you could ever get to, you know, because I never saw higher than that. And when I got to Craven Week, I saw that you can actually play this and play this and play that. And then SA school is not a big deal, because once you go to Alliance setup, they don't care where you've played, they don't care where you're from, they care about what you're doing now. And the highest point in the Alliance setup is making the senior team, you know. And every kid wants to play in the senior team, you know. If you're under 19, you want the senior coach to see you playing so that you can make it the senior team. And that feeling, playing for the senior team, is like one of the best feelings ever, because you know that you're representing something bigger than you, you know. You're representing something that many kids dream of doing, you know. And I remember when I first wore that jersey of the senior team, that was like running onto the field, my legs just felt like, I don't know, like it was just jelly, you know. And they told me, Hacjivah, you're on. I just couldn't believe it. It felt like I knew I was gonna play, but in that moment I didn't think I'll feel that way, you know. And they said, Hacjivah, you must go on now, you're going on flank. And I was like, no, this can't be true. And then when I was jogging on, my legs were just going. I feel like, now I'm gonna collapse here, I'm gonna faint, you know. And that feeling just says to you that you're not expecting such things, you know, to happen once. Like, for example, if me as a kid, you know, I always wanted to play Currie Cup, Super Rugby, and I'll always think it's impossible to play that until you're actually there, you know. So the feeling is different, to be honest. Yeah, you know, it started, I remember writing my finals, you know, after having the under-19 season. I'm writing my finals, I'm down my finals, said to me, listen, Hacjivah, you're in the Super Rugby squad. And that was like, I knew it was a big thing. I was like, okay, wow, this is big. But I remember the best feeling I got is when I got added onto the group, you know. And then I saw Super Rugby 2000, WhatsApp group, but I saw Super Rugby 2016. And I was just chilling there and I saw the names, I clicked on it and I saw Elton Yankees, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in a group with these guys. And then I like showed the James, I'm like, guys, listen, look, This is the Super Rugby group, and these are guys that we always watched on TV, you know, and we thought that it was impossible to meet, you know, like you had to wait the whole day just to get a signature from them. And now I'm actually training with them, you know, and my biggest dream was to see Anthony Foreman, because like I was like, you know, crazy about that guy. And then when I got to the training, I saw these guys. I had to act normal, you know, act like I'm used to this, you know, act like, oh, this is just another day in the office. I'm here to work. And I remember seeing Warren Whiteley, you know, coming to me, and I felt like, flip, this is a guy that the country sees as a, you know, and flip, it was very tough for me, you know, adapting, and especially now, I've better way of managing it, you know, because I know it's a professional environment. Everyone's here to work. Everyone's here to deliver their own. So I'm adapting well. But the first time I struggled, because, you know, when a guy like Kwaggasima says, let's go gym, and you think to yourself, oh flip, this guy just asked me to go gym. You know, it's just, you just have to mature up. So it was a good feeling, yeah. At the moment, it's like, it's, you know, I've had a couple of people ask me that question, you know, what position do you prefer if you had to choose yourself? You know, I'm very comfortable at flank, because I've played flank most of my life, like at the highest level. I've played wing, I've played center, but it wasn't at the highest level, you know. So, like, obviously when I'm playing with my mates and I'm playing, you know, touch rugby and stuff, it's a different story, you know. But at the moment, I'm actually covering for wing and I'm covering flank. You know, I'm actually backline and I'm flank. So at the, you know, probably I'm just going with the flow, you know. And whatever the coach picks me, the coach is a coach, you know. If he feels like, listen, you're better off at fullback or you're better off at wing, then you should play wing, and I'll do it, you know. I just have to adapt, and that's the challenge that it comes with, you know. But I do see myself as a wing, and I do see myself as a flank. So I just have to wait and see which position just works out for me. Yeah. Say, judging from my life, you know, speaking from experience, I would say just do it. You know, don't be scared to fail. You know, failing is it's not actually failing. It's actually learning a lesson. You know, once you learn a lesson, you actually know that you don't do that again. You do something else different. And that's what I've learned in my life, is that you just keep on doing it. Don't be scared to be judged. Don't be scared to make mistakes. If you just do things by doing it and not being able to be being scared or anything, you actually achieve a lot, because you're actually reaching your potential, you know. And my favorite saying is to kids is that the wolf on the hill is not as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. Meaning, just because you're on top doesn't mean the oak at the bottom is not climbing for your position. So never get comfortable. Just keep on working. No matter how good you're getting it right, like no matter how you how can I say this, how good you are, just keep on working. No, talent can get you this far, but like hard work can get you further, you know, yeah.